Fear. Fear of failing. Fear of being laughed at. Fear of feeling not good enough. Fear that maybe this is just something that was never meant to be. Fear that I'm not good enough. All these things have stood in the way of something that speaks to my heart, something that I've wanted to do for the longest of times. But today I overcame that fear. Today I put myself on display for you. Today I open myself up, vulnerable. Today I try, because I will not let fear stop me from living. I will not let fear limit my stories. I will not let fear stand in the way of purpose. Enjoy. Welcome to the first episode of Tea Sundays. My name is Thandobuhle Khumalo. So today I brought my friend Bongiwe Sindane to really just introduce certain questions that she thinks you guys would have, or certain questions that I think would be important to know about the channel. Yeah. So yeah, the channel is called Tea Sundays. Please subscribe, please join, and then I'm going to hand over to Bongi to run this.
Perfect. Hi guys. As Tandi said, I am Bongiwe Sindane, but you can call me Bongi, or Beasley, or B Money.
Wow.
Hey, honey.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm really excited about this channel.
So nice.
Uthando is so wise, so smart, so grounded, and
I think that's an oversell, but I'm
not
not sure about that. Yeah.
Genuinely, I think as subscribers and as avid watchers, or soon to be avid watchers and supporters of the channel, we're gonna learn a lot from this beautiful young lady. But I think, Tando, what everyone really wants to know is, can you give us a little insight as to who you are and why you decided to do this?
Okay, who I am, there's various parts of who I am. Like I grew up in KZN, but then I went to the Eastern Cape for high school, then I went to the varsity for Wits. So that tells you a bit of how I grew up or where I grew up. And then in terms of who I am, I would describe myself as a very ambitious person. I'm very, very much focused on constantly making myself better. I love working. Like, I genuinely just love working, like, constantly.
What do you love working to do? Like, what do you like doing? Because working is it working in things that you enjoy doing?
Yeah. So, I'm very passionate about the law, for example, because that's the kind of space that I'm in right now.
Yeah.
But I'm also very passionate about, humanitarian issues.
Yeah.
So that's why I love reading. I love constantly exposing myself to different things, but more than anything, which is what I think brought about this whole channel, is I genuinely love working and understanding different people's stories. I remember one time I was watching Oprah, and she was talking about how what made her so good at what she did was constantly understanding that everyone wanted to work to be the best person they could be, and constantly understanding that different people's stories and contexts. And I think that's kind of what always interests me. You know, understanding people's context, understanding the fact that people want to be the best they can be, and that also means understanding that I want to be the best that I can be. So I'm constantly exposing myself to information, to reading, you know, knowing about stuff, and yeah, just really my passions. Yeah.
And she's very creative, and she's very passionate. She likes to, you know, immerse herself in all kinds of things, you know. I think she's a character, and I think, you know, she's gonna do great things and expose us to great people.
Thank you.
But Tando, tell us about, you know, how you plan on structuring the channel. You know, what kind of, I mean, as much as you say you want to expose us to all kinds of people, and for us to kind of get insight into different people's stories, you know, and, you know, because everyone, like you said, everyone is trying to be the best version of themselves, but what kind of people, like, you know, is there a specific type of person you're trying to introduce to the subscribers? Is it you know, a number of people? What kind of, you know, topics do you see yourself touching on? You know, when can we expect new episodes? Just, you know, the semantics and basically, you know, how everything is going to run on T-Channel.
That makes sense. Oh, good questioning. So, the first thing is that the channel really is a reflection of me, you know, and I think that's why I've put in so much work in it. I didn't just wake up and decide I'm going to start a channel. I've literally spent hours like reading, researching, listening to various people and how they structure, you know, something like this, but also making sure to make it authentic to me. And so basically how I plan to do this is that when I'm saying the channel is a reflection of me, I have a diverse number of interests, right? And as a young person, the reason why I decided to start this is because I believe there's so many conversations that we're not having. And as a result of that, a lot of things are happening. You know, people are committing suicide, people are making decisions that are destructive towards themselves. So I want to actually just expose people to my various interests. So how the channel is going to look is that we're going to have different sort of ideas and themes, right? So for example, like I said, I'm interested in things about finding yourself, being the best version of you. So we're gonna see those kinds of interviews, tapping into your truth. You know, people who are very powerful, people who are using their voices, who are young like us, you know. And then there's gonna be various things about entrepreneurship, because that's something I'm also interested in. So it's going to literally be delving into young entrepreneurs. You know, what are they doing? Why did they decide to go that path? Then we're gonna look at people in corporate South Africa. You know, the youth in corporate South Africa, how are they coping with that kind of thing? You know, we're going to look at things like depression, anxiety, you know, issues that we are having, emotional and mental health issues. And the idea is that every Sunday we release a new episode, hence why it's called Tea Sundays. But obviously, if, you know, during the week I feel like some spark, maybe I'll post a very short video of something, but mostly the content is going to come every Sunday. So that's kind of how I plan to structure everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And lastly, as a closing question, where do you see the channel going? What is your ultimate goal? What are your aims? I mean, you've talked about wanting to have conversations that young people should be having, and you know, and you know, kind of just creating that platform for us to actually, you know, like, you know, really go into those conversations and go into those issues and, you know, the good and the bad that we experience as young people in the world. But yeah, what is your aim? Where do you see the channel going? What do you want for the channel? How do you want people to respond to the channel? And yeah.
I mean, the channel, my vision for it is really just to go out there and like really just speak to young people, you know, speak to things they've been interested in, expose them to things that they normally wouldn't be exposed to. I'll make an example, like one of the things we'll be covering is how to present yourself in an interview, you know, little things like that. So I see it really as just almost being something that you can go to weekly as a young person and be exposed to a different way of thinking, even if it's it's something that you're not necessarily interested in or affected by or have, taken some form of interest in, but to constantly expose yourself and open your mind to knowledge, because really knowledge is power, and learning different aspects. So I honestly see the channel really just exposing young people, but I want to make it a very African, flavor kind of thing, because that's who I am, and I believe in that, and I believe in that authenticity. But I do believe that it will scale to touch other people, in other countries and in various parts of the world, hopefully. And I see sponsorships and money and other things, coming through. But the main really purpose of the channel, and that's why I'm not so much focused on things like, that's why I'm self-funding it, and that's why I'm doing it this way, because I honestly just want to start it off as my vision and how I see it. I don't want to start it off as someone else's vision or be influenced with what I talk about. I want to have really real, candid conversations, and I just see it really being something that you sort of, tuck into every Sunday and can learn something about, and hopefully, will make an impact in your life, will change something in your life, because that will be living up to my purpose, which is touching people and changing people. And just lastly, so I really just want constructive criticism. I strongly believe in constructive criticism. I want people to tell me how to make the channel better, what they would like to be seeing more of. What am I doing wrong? What are my guests doing wrong? Say it kindly, but please do say it.
Wow. We are really looking forward to this. We are looking forward to supporting and subscribing and watching you. You are extremely wise. I don't know why you're laughing. I don't know. But watch,
Goodbye.
Enjoy,
Goodbye.
and see you soon.